Welcome friends, it's Frank here, and I wanted just to say thank you to all those who have donated so far to our fund, our GoFundMe fund for Nomikos Paneris. It's really quite eye-opening for me to see people donating, and I'm very grateful. I know this is something that is coming from people's hearts to give to our son and to give him a proper burial. At the moment, he's not in his own gravesite, he's at his grandmother's site, and we eventually want to create a tombstone for him. He doesn't have one, and a proper burial for his own place. Of course, this is going to take some funds to do that, and also we want to continue building a website and a resource center for mothers and informing doctors also of current practices or what is available or solutions available for them to help mothers who are struggling. So the current practices here in Poland are a little bit different to what I'm used to from Australia, in the way the solutions that are offered to people who have mothers who are getting some bad news, as it were, from the doctors that the child might have some defects or may not even survive, as opposed to what I went through in Poland. It's such a big contrast that there needs to be more done, and this is the whole goal of this GoFundMe, is not only to help with Nomikos and his own burial, but which I'm grateful for those that have donated, but also it's a bigger picture here, and I really opened up my eyes to how I guess they're good people, these nurses, doctors, doing what they can with the resources they have available, and I think they can go a lot further than what they have at the moment. I think they're limited. I think they're caught between the old and trying to be progressive, and I really want to help. Let me say that again. I really want to help people, parents, mothers, fathers, and even doctors not to experience what I experienced. And I will talk about that more later. But I just wanted to really just say thank you again to those who have donated. And if you want to donate, please do so. I'll put a link down the bottom of this video to our donation page, and if you want to go ahead and donate something, please do so. It's up to you. It's obviously, it comes from the heart. We're not telling anyone they have to. It doesn't matter the size if you want to, but it's a cause that it's worthwhile, I believe, donating to. It's a lot bigger than just a tombstone and a gravesite in our child. It's a lot bigger than that. There are so many mothers and fathers going through something that is, in my opinion, not a healthy position to be in. And I think much more can be done and better, and a better way to do things. So, that's my purpose at the moment, to get that sorted. Once I can see that we have the funds to do it, then we'll make some changes. Hopefully, we'll see. It's a big ask, but I think it needs to be done somewhere, and we need to just start. That's the main thing. What part of Nomikos' story, because of our lack of financial ability to pay for everything, we had the option, or thinking of a way, how do we bury him? And it's not a favourable topic. Should we, we were looking at funds, how much can we afford to do this or that, and one of the options that came up was cremation. That's a big topic, of course, and being in Poland, which is a predominantly Catholic country, there's a lot of questions that revolve around cremation. There is an erroneous view, may have influenced many people reading the Bible also, about an account in the scriptures or a Bible reference in the scriptures, and I think a lot of Christians also have this issue about burning bodies. Now, we decided to cremate little nomikos. But some people may imply some terminology in the scriptures, the terminology, for example, of Gehenna, that is the place of the Valley of Hinnom, a historical garbage dump south of Jerusalem that Jesus used as a, not suggesting that people are going, that it was bad to burn people. He wasn't saying that, or that people should be cremated. No, but because of those words and the context of the past, people have looked at cremation as a thing you shouldn't do. There's an interesting account in Saul's case, but before we get to Saul, Jesus often spoke about Gehenna, translated as hellfire in many biblical translations, but it was a fire that kept burning. They kept burning, the Jews, by sulfur or brimstone, as dead carcasses and other waste were thrown into it, that is this valley, and destroyed. So with this image, people have this idea of cremation. They might have initially you could see they might have a problem with it, because of the way it was used. And so today, a lot of people feel a little bit uncomfortable about this idea of cremating, because it would dishonor the memory of the dead person, while others believe cremation, it could be that, and yet others believe that cremation is a dignified way of disposing human remains. Question is, what do you think? While both burials and the burning of dead bodies are mentioned in the Bible, the real question is whether or not cremation is truly condemned by God. What do you think? There is one Bible account, as I was saying, that can help us maybe with this question. It's found in 1 Samuel chapter 31 verse 2, the account when the Philistines defeated Israelite King Saul in battle. It says there, then the Philistines followed hard after Saul and his sons, and the Philistines killed Jonathan, Abinadab, Melchishah, Saul's sons. That's 1 Samuel 31:2. Question is, what happened to their bodies? Well, according to 1 Samuel chapter 31, 8-10, the Philistines fastened their bodies to the city wall in a celebration of their victory. And then in verses 11 and 12, it says, now when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard that the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and travelled all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bethshan, and they came to Jabesh and burnt them there. That's the New King James Version. Notice, they actually burnt King Saul, but not just King Saul, his sons, including Jonathan. We know that King Saul died in, if you like, God's dishonor, Jehovah's dishonor. However, his son Jonathan was not a bad person. Jonathan was David's close friend and a loyal supporter of God's choice over his own father. That was David as king. Still, he was burnt. His body was burnt. Now, how did David react when he learnt about this cremation, if you like? According to 2 Samuel chapter 2, just a little bit later, the next book, verses 5-6, says, David sent messengers to the men of Jabesh Gilead, and blessed them. And he blessed them, adding, I also will repay you this kindness, because you have done this thing. Now, why would David praise and thank these people if burning their bodies was undignified, as some may think today, or condemned by God? Does cremation interfere with the words found in Genesis 3:19, for dust you are and dust you will return? When we think about Revelation 20 verse 13, it says, the sea gave up the dead which were in it. Wouldn't that include people devoured by all sorts of sea life, sharks and whatever, over the centuries? Does it make any difference to the Almighty or to the Father if a person's body is burnt, buried, lost at sea, vaporized, like in Japan? Or some other crazy experience that has someone lost their life in some other way, even by wild animals? What do you think? Does it matter? You know, when people are raptured, aren't they going to get a new, if they're raptured and they're still alive, aren't they going to get a new body? They are. What's going to happen to the old body? I don't know. But does it matter? Does the Bible give us, when we think about it, does the Bible say anything specific about this? Well, not really. There's no specific directions as to what should be done with a person's body. It does not condemn cremation, which millions have found to be very cost effective, and that was one of our reasons of doing this. But efficient, some say it's environmentally friendly, and compared to how they modern day embalming is with the many chemicals that are used. Really, the reality is, I guess, that both burials, cremations, and have their benefits depending on what do you want to do. What do you want though? What do I want? I want to see my child again. That's what I want. I want to see Nomikos. That's all. And of course, many of my other friends and family members who have passed away already. What about you? What do you want? Jesus said at 11:25, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And isn't that comforting? And isn't that what we want, friends? So is this a burning question for you? Pardon the pun. Cremation? Me at all. I know I'll see Nomikos again. I believe he's with the Father now. In fact, his spirit's with him and he's safe. And I think, what he has inspired so many people, friends. I have a nice little experience. I have a stepson in Poland, and he was, one of the mothers asked grandmother if, his name is Iggy, if Iggy has any siblings, and she said no. And he stood up and said, no, in fact, I do have a sibling. His name's Nomikos, but he died. And I don't think she meant anything by saying no, but to see how he was so moved to say something about his son, his brother. I'm so proud of him, but he was so moved to say something and stand up for him. Doesn't that tell you something? It's not for nothing. Life is so precious and it moves everybody, even to the youngest ones. It can move. A small baby can move so many people. What he's gone through in his short life has moved more people. I can tell you countless stories how he's affected doctors and nurses and others around, and believers, from here to Canada to Poland. It's moved so many people, friends. So I'm so grateful for the experience. I'm very sad, obviously going through a lot of emotions at the moment, dealing with the loss. Not a day goes by where I'm not shedding a tear or two. I can tell you that. I'm not afraid to or ashamed to say that. But it's not easy. There's a lot of processing, a lot of things to go through. I am going through at the moment, and I will share more and more of my experience with you as time goes by. Thanks for listening, and that's the story with Nomikos. Yes, he was cremated, and we're hoping with the funds raised to put him in his own place and with a proper tombstone. Not the way it is at the moment, but for now it's it is what it is for now. It's a cost-effective means. There's a lot of paperwork and red tape in Poland that you have to go through. It's not so simple. There is a lot of rules and regulations as regards to these matters. So, but so far, look, it's working out okay, you know. So, but thank you again for your kind donations, and if you feel it in your heart to give, please give. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. See you.